Well, the SELECTOOL is a very simple, very powerful, very easy to use sharpener, but it's only as good as the best technique that uses it. So I just want you to see this. It's pretty simple. You've got a notch on each side. It's designed to hold the blade that came on that knife as it came from the manufacturer. So because it's a notch, all you have to do is simply fit the tip, and that tip will hug the inside of that edge. Now avoid the temptation to rest the knife here on the side of that notch. That is not correct. That's for too broad of a chopping tool like an axe or a hatchet. For a simple slicing blade, you can actually see visually that tip fitting itself perfectly in that little notch, and you add a little snug, a little tiny snug, and that makes sure that that edge is right on that line, and that will allow that edge to get right on that line. And so you begin sharpening, you sharpen exclusively on the one side. See that? Every time you put that blade back in there, it re-centers itself. And then you want to start here at the tip, you want to work in sections down to the base. And then you want to simply repeat and do the exact same thing over here on side two. So you avoid resting the knife. Kind of get out of the idea of rolling the knife at all. Put the blade in here and then kind of snug. See that? The tip flattens itself on the inside of that little guide, and then press and sharpen. And sharpen in sections from the tip around the curve down to the base, and finish every stroke through the tip. The tool is designed to remove the rough, dull, rounded metal. And it's designed to only go after the dull, the rough, or the imprecise. So if your knife is already nice and smooth and sharp, not much is going to happen. You're just going to feel it kind of sliding. But if there's some roughness, or if the blade steel is kind of soft, then as you put that leverage in there, it generates a little bit of torque, and that makes this tool work very efficiently. So like for a stone, you normally are grinding the little rough metal off into powder. You don't really see it. With this tool, you will see little shavings, and that's just like when you go to a machine lathe in a metal shop. You see that little rounding or that spinning metal, and that metal bit hits that spinning metal and shears off the little curls. So that's what you're going to see on there. When the knife is kind of rough or dull or misaligned, then this tool will find the dullness and shear. That's the term. It shears into these little shavings. You'll see it on the one side, you'll see it on the other side. Now sometimes if your knife was misaligned, it didn't have the right angle on both sides, you'll find that one side sharpens up a little bit more than the other. And this will make sure that both sides are the same angle once you're finished. See, side one and side two, it's exactly the same. Here on the side, you see you have two little inserts that are rounded. Now these are not sharpeners at all. In other words, we're not going to try to shape anything. We already shaped it over here in the front. What we're going to do is we're going to use those inserts like two little steels, like kitchen steels, side by side. We're going to go to the right. We're going to go to the left. We're going to smooth and true and keen and dress and hone. And now, after you shaped it and smoothed it, you go to use the knife a little bit. I want you to come back in here. Use the knife a little bit. I want you to come back in here. And that is how you will maintain the edge and make the knife work better and last longer and get maximum value out of sharpness as long as you have it. That's how you get and keep a nice crisp edge on all your knives all the time, just by shaping it and keeping it nice and smooth. So if your knife is dull, it's got a rounded edge, you have to take off the rough dull metal to get down to a new edge. Once you've done that, typically you'll have a little tiny burr, like when you clip your fingernail, that little tiny rough edge. So that little burr sticks off to the side like that. It's very sharp, but it's not usable. So what you want to do is you want to straighten it, you want to shorten it, and make it nice and clean and tight. And that's what we do with these little inserts here on the side. We go to the right, we go to the left. We're straightening, we're smoothing, and making that edge really clean and nice and tight. Now after you use the knife a little bit, those little tiny microscopic teeth will start to bend and fold over. And what you want to do is you want to straighten and get those tuned back up repeatedly over and over. So on the front here you'll shape, do that once, and then over here on the side, and just do this until you can't feel any more roughness. Do this repeatedly, okay? Shape once, straighten many, cut, cut, use, come back in here. Cut, cut, use, come back in here, and that's the best way to get and keep a nice clean edge all the time.